3. Things a man will never admit to the woman who owns his mind. Some women don't chase. They don't plead. They don't etch their demands onto the walls of a man's attention. And yet, they linger. Not in his arms, perhaps, but in the silent chambers of his mind. A haunting, a resonance he cannot shake. For she has touched something beyond the surface of his ego. She has brushed against the raw edges of his anima, the buried feminine essence within his own soul. And in that touch, secrets are born. Secrets he will guard with the ferocity of a wounded beast, especially from her. This is not a story of games or manipulation. It is an archaeology of the unconscious. A descent into the cavern where a man hides the truths too potent, too shattering, to speak to the woman who has become his inner compass. His projections fall upon her like veils, seeing in her grace his own unclaimed softness, in her fire his own untamed rage. She becomes the screen for his shadow, the repository of all he denies within himself. And this grants her a power he will never name, a sovereignty he will fight to obscure, even as he orbits her gravity. Slightly more intense, leaning into second person. You feel it, don't you? That unnerving quiet where words should be. The intensity in his gaze that flickers away when met directly. The subtle recoil when your presence becomes too real, too demanding of his unvarnished self. He admires your depth, yet fears drowning in it. He desires your light, yet squints against its brightness. This is the first unspoken truth, etched not in words but in the spaces between his breaths. His terror is not of losing you, but of losing the illusion of control your perceived perfection grants him over his own chaotic inner world. You are the anima ideal, and confronting your humanity, your flaws, feels like the collapse of his own carefully constructed inner order. His ego trembles at the thought. Observe the dance of attachment. He draws close, intoxicated by the reflection of his own potential he sees in your presence. He basks in the warmth of your perceived completeness. Yet, when the intimacy deepens, when vulnerability is required beyond the superficial, a coldness descends, a withdrawal. This is not cruelty, though it cuts like it. This is the unconscious recoil of the unindividuated soul, the second buried admission. He needs your perceived emotional stability, your anima essence, to feel whole, yet resents that very dependence. His own unhealed wounds, his fractured inner feminine, make your genuine emotional landscape feel like a foreign, dangerous territory he is ill-equipped to navigate. He fears his own inadequacy in the face of your authentic depth. His stoic facade isn't strength, it's a trauma response. A fortress built on the ruins of past vulnerabilities, terrified of your capacity to make him feel beyond his control. You sense the paradox, the magnetic pull wrapped in barbed wire. He seeks your light, yet accuses you of burning too brightly when it exposes his shadows. He desires your understanding, yet retreats when you truly see him. This projection, this casting of his inner turmoil onto your being, is the ancient dance of the unintegrated psyche. Here lies the third, deepest secret he buries even from himself. His provocations, his distance, his sudden coldness are often not about you at all. They are the desperate, unconscious attempts to shatter your reflection, to break the anima ideal he has placed upon you. Because if you are flawed, if you falter, then his own failure to meet that inner ideal feels less damning. If he can make you react from your own shadow, if he can draw out your fear, your anger, your neediness, then the unbearable pressure of your perceived wholeness lessens. His ego breathes easier in the shared rubble. This is where the ancient wisdom whispers, not in the storm of his withdrawal, but in the profound stillness that follows the recognition. Stoicism offers not numbness, but a fierce inner citadel. Trauma psychology reveals his behavior is a language, speaking of wounds you did not inflict and cannot heal. Jungian insight illuminates the path. Your power does not lie in fixing his projections, but in withdrawing yours from him, ceasing to see him as the salvator of your own unclaimed masculine, the animus, or the validator of your worth. This is the sacred act of reclamation, Individuation begins not with changing him, but with retrieving the fragments of your own soul cast outward. Detachment is not indifference, it is profound seeing. It is the dissolution of the hook upon which his unconsciousness hung its fears. When you stop needing him to name his terror, to admit his dependence, to confess his sabotage, a profound shift occurs. You reclaim the energy spent deciphering his silences. You withdraw the loan of your self-worth held hostage in his hidden vaults. You stand firm within your own center, your own animus strength integrated, not as you stand firm within your own center, your own animus strength integrated, not as hardness, but as unwavering self-possession. The projections lose their grip when they meet the solid ground of your self-awareness. The woman who walks away in silence isn't weak. She isn't defeated. She isn't waiting. She simply sees the depth of the game being played in the shadows and chooses the immeasurable freedom of the light beyond it.